Hello YouTube, it's Thursday, November 18th, 6:08 p.m. and I'm actually headed to Bullock's this time. It's been quite an adventure of a day. The diversion over at the Pueblo Grand Museum, that was unexpected and really pleasant. Kind of kicked myself in the ass that I've never visited that place as many years as I've lived here. And I actually, when I went in, I chatted with the staff inside the museum, and they kind of apologized for how awkward it was when I walked in before. They thought I was with a part of a group, so they said I kind of threw them off. But admission for the museum isn't much, maybe $5 or $6. Ordinarily, I wouldn't even think anything of that, but right now, $5 or $6 is a lot. So. Yeah, and honestly, mostly what I wanted to see was the ruins outside, which of course I did get to see. So, I had a little chat with them about it, and they both said that before they started working there that they had no idea that was there either. So, kind of a mind-bending thing to think that, right here in my neighborhood, less than 2 miles directly south of here was an ancient civilization 1,500 years ago, and that there's still remnants of it there. That's something I didn't know. So very interesting stuff. You gotta wonder in 1,500 years how much of this civilization will still be standing. And I would imagine not much. And it's not even that Costco building isn't built solid. I mean, it's a cinder block structure. I could see it lasting a very, very long time. But it's more a matter of the fact that Phoenix, just the kind of local culture here, Phoenix just doesn't really put any kind of value on structures. Things aren't really built to last, and even the things that are built solid enough to last, they don't. It seems like everything just gets sold to some other property developer who bulldozes it down and puts something else up. And so many historic buildings, downtown and in Tempe and elsewhere in the valley. Things come up and people want to save it, and whoever owns the property is like, well, my property, my rights. And I honestly, I can't, the libertarian in me can't really disagree with that. But on the same token, it seems like something of the past should be preserved. Some things, something that was built and intended to be permanent, it just seems like it should be. Like, yeah, that's your property, but that's also you building, and you bought that, and at that point, it kind of makes you the caretaker of it, But some people care less about how historic a building is. They just want to bulldoze it and build what they want to build, and often it's here's a good example right here. And it's nothing particularly special, but that QT that I'm walking in and out of all the dang time, it's new. It's been there, I want to say less than a year. It's very new. And what used to be on that corner was nothing particularly special. It was just an office building, kind of a mid-rise office building, probably 3 or 4 story building. It was a nice building. There was nothing wrong with it. I would say it was probably built in the 1980s, maybe 1990s. Nothing spectacular about its architecture, but the bottom line is there was nothing wrong with it. And I'm sure it's, obviously there was something there before. This part of town is considerably older than that still. So yeah, everything disposable now. So in a world that's so disposable, it's kind of nice to see that these ruins that are between 800 and 1,500 years old are still being there and preserved at the Pueblo Grande Museum and Park. So that was a neat diversion. So I best news to happen today is that I honestly thought I still needed to make another trip down to that DES office, which was absolutely horrible the last time I went there. And I could go on about how and why it was horrible. Honestly, still having problems with my swollen uvula. But yeah, while I was sitting there, what ended up happening is I went over to that bus stop, and I think I kind of explained that before I went in the video I shot before I went into Pueblo Grande. Here's the big decision. Do I do the 44 to the 50 to the 60, or I do the 44 to the light rail to the 60? Always such a tough call. The 44 to the 50 to the 60 is potentially quicker, but the route via light rail seems to have less potential for missed transfers. And the light rail is always a little more comfortable than being on the bus, so I think I'm going to go that route tonight. Anyway, expect this guy's just panhandling. I probably need to hit the button to get across the street. Maybe there isn't a button on this corner. Oh. Anyway, so the good news is that my medical coverage is back. So I went to the little urgent care on the corner, little fast med. I forget what it used to be called, but I've been coming to urgent care for, God, I want to say over a decade. Probably more like 14 years. And I heard they're going to be closing, and well, not so much closing, but relocating about a half mile up the road in the next few months, which kind of bums me out, but it's all good. I'm glad it was the same doctor that was there the last time I went there, and honestly, I don't remember why I went there last time, but I recognized her, and as soon as I kind of mentioned something that she had told me about job she had before she finished medical school, she's like, "Oh, I remember you." So that was kind of cool. Always cool. I wish I could think of her name, but she's really a sweetheart and quite easy on the eyes as well. But yeah, it's nice to see her again. Anyway, yeah, check me out. I got some kind of shot. I forget. It's like I forget what kind of shot it is, to be honest, but I got a kind of shot in the ass, and that wasn't pleasant. And got a, what do you call it? Got another, it looked like it was from a syringe, but it was actually an oral medication, and it was a nurse that came in for those. And she looked super familiar. Anyway, she was really cool. Kind of wanted to invite her to Bullocks, but I never really got the opportunity to. But yeah, she gave me that stuff, and that was foul, but I had already had a bottle of water to wash it down with, and I do feel like the swelling has gone down some. It's still kind of feeling awkward in the back of my throat, but at least when I'm talking, I'm not gagging on it, and I think I'll be all right to, hopefully it'll be all right to sing tonight. It would suck if I start gagging and choking on my own goddamn uvula while I'm trying to sing. On that note, I'll probably, just because I am a little worried about that, I'll probably be doing a little more singing and a little less rapping, and deliberately trying to pick out songs that have longer instrumental breaks than normal. and probably try to sing a little bit less than normal as well. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's show. Well, at least I got a little extra karaoke in this week at the Alibi Tiki Lounge in Portland. Can't wait to go back to that place. That place was absolutely awesome. One thing I definitely noticed while I was in Portland is that Portland does appear to have very good public transportation. While I was driving around with Allison doing Uber Eats, basically playing pilot while she was running and handling all the pickups and deliveries, which actually worked really, really well. As I drop her off, because it's not always such a great place to park in some places, but I'd be able to pull over and drop her off right by the door where she'd go into a restaurant or go into an apartment building. And then while she was doing her pickup or doing her delivery, I'd be able to kind of figure out which way we needed to go out of that area and either get to a convenient parking spot or get turned around and be ready to kind of swoop her up when she rolled out. So I forget what her numbers were, but she said she'd never made that much money in that short of a time using merely a quarter tank of gas. So she was pretty stoked. All right, I do believe this is my bus coming, so I'm going to cut this short. And thanks for watching. There will be more.